by demo, right? Total 12 plus on the left, and then you have 1834 and so on and so forth down the road. So total radio AQH, right? Total audience, where everything is built on, right? The building blocks of everything. Those numbers are down, right? Different percentages for different demos. The decline's been a little bit steeper on the younger end than on the older end, but overall, total terrestrial AM/FM, what we measure, what Nielsen measures, that number is down over time. What's going on? Fragmentation, right? There are so many places you can go to get audio and to get entertainment and to get talk and to get sports and on and on and on. This is Scarborough data. Scarborough is a cool service we have at Nielsen, is we put all of our radio data into it and then we cross-tab it against what else are you doing. Not just what are you buying, what kind of car you drive, but like what else are you doing, like using social media and using YouTube and using an online music service, a streaming service, and using satellite radio. And across the board, those numbers are all going up, right? As terrestrial radio use shrinks, the use of other platforms increases. Here's what it looks like if you want to try to quantify the audio landscape. So one of the challenges that we have at Nielsen is how do we measure everything? How do we measure all AM/FM plus streaming, plus podcasting, plus satellite, which as Jay knows we don't measure satellite, right? But how do we put all those things together and get an idea for what the audio landscape looks like? These are reach figures, which is the easiest thing to do, right? We see that total radio use still dwarfs everything else, right? The majority of Americans are using AM/FM radio. That's one of the calling cards of our industry. But streaming audio, particularly on your smartphone, is catching up fast, right? It goes across the board here on different devices. And satellite radio is there too, right? Satellite radio is not insignificant, it's not invisible. We don't measure it necessarily, but it's there. You've got how many 100 millions of subscribers you have nationwide, right? That's taking a piece of people's use, right? It's a piece of people's pie when you talk about audio use. And speaking of satellite, I'm really glad you talked about this, Jay. I didn't know you were going to be on the panel before me, but I pulled this slide.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We actually can measure satellite in the diary markets. So you guys may not know this, but in PPM, they're dark to us. Like satellite's not encoded, so we don't know what's going on. But in diary, people do write down satellite use, and while we don't put it into like the full ratings, we do capture it, right? We do know how many people nationwide are using satellite. That number has grown about 25% since 2004, and it's up to about 11 million listeners each week just in the diary markets. So that's excluding the top 50 big population markets. So it's a player, right? It's there. It's part of how you spend your audio pie. So again, I'm trying to show you guys all this to just give you an idea of what we can see, and I think a lot of what you probably know, like what you feel intuitively looking at the data, is there are so many other things that are competing for your audience's ears and your audience's time.